This is Rutherford, which is basically the Harrisburg yard. And, you know, we talked about that inside, but what's interesting here are these two panels control the Hump yard at Harrisburg. And what's interesting, you look at it, and the eastbound is twice the size, or more than twice the size of the westbound.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about it, you know, the number of cars going west has to equal the number of cars going east, otherwise all the cars would wind up in California. So what's going on here? Okay, well, the answer is, you know, the Reading competed with the Pennsy. Now, the Pennsy goes from New York to Chicago or to St. Louis directly on all their track. The Reading goes from Jersey City to west of Harrisburg. You know, on the east they hook up with the Central Railroad, New Jersey. In between they hook up with the B&O, and out west, you know, west of Harrisburg, they meet up with the Western Maryland. The thing is, if a train is coming east, the cars in that train can be going anywhere east of Harrisburg. You know, you can have cars going to Philly, you can have cars going to New York, you can have cars going to Scranton, you have cars going to New England, you can have cars going to Maryland, you know, they can be going anywhere. So there's a whole bunch of choices of which train they go in depending on where they're going to. Cars going west, you know, they're going to Western Maryland. Beyond that, Reading doesn't care where they're going. So they only have to worry about which train those cars are supposed to go on, and there's a very limited number of choices, so that's what they do.
Okay.
The way a hump yard, are you familiar with that concept? You know, you have a yard, and each track is a different train or going to a different place or whatever, carrying different materials. And, you know, you could have a, you know, when you get a car, you figure out where it's going, you shove it into the right track. Now, with a hump yard, you have a long grade that comes up, and then you have a very steep slope. So, you know, a train pushes his car up, car gets here, he looks at the number, figures out where it's going, he lines it up so that it's going out to that track. He gives the guy the signal, he pushes it, it goes down that hill and starts coasting into that track. Now, sometimes that track is empty and you want it to go fairly far. Other times the track may be filled, you don't want to go very far. Plus, depending on the car, you know, whether it's heavy or light or whether it's, you know, got good lubrication or whatever, you know, you don't want to go in too fast so it crashes into the car. You know, you've seen all these signs, do not hump. That's what they're about. So these things are brakes. So when a car starts down, he can put on the brakes, and what that does is, you know, as the wheel goes by, it clamps the wheel, you know, not on the end, but on the sides, and squeezes it and slows it down so it doesn't crash into anything or hurt anything. So that's the story of a hump yard.
Oh, that's when they did
Cars off the trains and subways go.
Okay. So, you know, you have that many, you have separate eastbound and westbound yards, and, you know, you can put a whole bunch of cars in there. See, the thing is now that you have, you know, Conrail and Norfolk Southern, all the trains, the railroads are like Norfolk West, Norfolk Southern. You know, it's just one, or like the Pennsy used to be. You know, you have one railroad that goes from New York to, so they figure all this out in New York or wherever it started. Oh, it's most efficient. Oh.